Hi, everybody. I'm Lindsay with the DVC Rental Store. Welcome to episode 9 of the World of DVC show.
We are so excited, guys. This show is going to have this or that. We're going to talk about updates to the market, and we're going to talk about what is it like to vacation at Disney with your kids.
Hey, guys.
Oh, hey, Marissa.
You ready for a vacation?
Yeah.
Where's all your stuff?
We have teenagers.
This is all we need.
We're good. Thanks.
Daddy, look, a giraffe. I can't believe we can walk through the castle.
It starts with a spark, alive in our hearts, a chance to build your legacy. To go to magical places with smiling faces and value and trust you can see. When it's buying or selling, renting or lending, there's a wonderful dwelling with wishes unending. You'll save a lot when you believe. So go with the team who will achieve your dream. Enter the world of DVC.
Ladies and gentlemen, you are now entering the world of DVC, the ultimate DVC destination where magical vacations meet incredible value through exceptional service. Put in your headphones, turn the volume up, sit back, relax, and step into the world of DVC.
Just wish on a star. Enter the world of DVC.
Happy
2022. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome.
Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you.
You too.
Oh,
I
my
haven't
goodness.
seen you for a long time.
I know. It's been crazy, like holiday madness.
Yes, it's been a bit of a few weeks since
Yes.
we've seen each other, but it's so good to see you and good to see everybody. And welcome back to the World of DVC show. And we hope you all had a wonderful Happy New Year.
Yeah, it's been kind of a whirlwind. I mean, just...
Oh, yeah.
I don't know. I feel like this year it's like been crazier than ever with just a lot of new stuff happening in World of DVC.
Right.
And then you like tie in all the holidays. And
Yep.
of course we had the trip to Indy right before and
my
then
gosh.
Christmas parties.
Yep.
And so I'm like, hi, it's 2022.
Yep.
Where is the last month gone?
I don't know. I took off the last week of the year,
Yeah.
which I used to do all the time at Disney. I don't know if many people, right? You take off the last week of the year, just kind of like decompress, and it just wasn't that at all. Because if you take off the last week of the year without going someplace, you still feel
You're still
obligated.
here.
You're still here. And so it was
answering
nice.
my text messages.
Exactly. Answering Marissa's frantic text messages, which is okay. I got you all the time. But yeah, it was nice. But I feel like the whole month of December was just that. It was, the trip to Indianapolis. Then we had the girls from Indianapolis here for a couple of days as well, doing the shows, Christmas parties, Christmas decorating, all the holiday stuff. And then all of a sudden it was like, between that, Christmas and New Year's, it was like, what day is it? What hour is it? I don't even know. Like, have we celebrated New Year's yet? It just is like a big fog.
Yep.
Yeah.
For sure.
I know.
So what were some memories that you made over the holiday season?
We had a great low key.
Yep.
Again, a low key holiday season, which I think a lot of people are still doing.
Sounds like the trend this year.
I think so too. Also, we have our sparkly ears on. I love our sparkly ears.
We didn't get to do our champagne toast
I know,
for 2022,
we
so
didn't.
this is the best we could do for y'all.
Yep. Well, nobody was feeling really great around New Year's.
I might have the flu.
I know.
I don't
Derek didn't feel
know.
good. Everybody was a little bit under the weather, so we were trying to get together for a champagne toast and was like, it's probably safer and better if we just cheers it over text. How boring. We need to do something more fabulous next year.
For sure.
But we've got our fabulous ears on today. They're so cute and so sparkly. I just love them. They look so
they're
adorable.
so much fun.
Yeah. But we had a great holiday season. I was so thrilled to see candlelight come back. I don't know if you have many Disney traditions around the holidays that are like the tradition of the candlelight processional with my family. We go back to the 90s with
Oh my
this thing.
goodness, that is a huge tradition.
It's a huge tradition. And it goes back to where like my sister was a Disney cast member back in the 90s.
I didn't know that.
She was.
What did she do?
So she was on the college program, and then she came back and she was full-time special events at Epcot. So she was an event manager.
We need to have her on this show.
We need to have her on the show. She's got a little some good best kept secrets too. But she was one of the managers for the candlelight processional.
Did she know like the celebrities
Yes.
and stuff? Oh, how
So I
cool.
was
We
just
definitely need her on the show.
She I'm trying to think of his name. It was you don't know the show because you weren't born yet. But it was the cop show Chips. You don't know
sure.
it. I know. Eric Estrada. Does that mean anything? Okay, so for my midlife viewers and older, Eric Estrada was a cutie on Chips. It was like this law enforcement. I think they were in California. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it was California. But anyway, he was the celebrity narrator. And Marissa in the 90s, I mean, he was a big thing.
Okay.
He was the NPH of Candlelight. Neil Patrick Harris, for those who may not
I know
be
who
fo-
he
Okay,
is.
good. I'm so glad. So anyway, so he was like the big celebrity at the time. And if you've never seen the Candlelight Processional, you've seen it.
Yeah.
Okay, let's say, don't break my heart and say you haven't. But it's the story, the retelling of the Christmas story, right? And it's set to the Disney Orchestra and the Disney Voices of Liberty. Sarah Whittemore, she sings our opening. It's just, I mean, it doesn't get more better than that. And then surrounding the orchestra and the Voices of Liberty is a cast choir. And then usually they have the high school kids really from all around the country come in and be part of the choir. This year they didn't because of COVID. So where the where the student choir normally stands, they had the cast choir there. So everyone was spread out. But anyway, going back, he was the first person I ever saw was Eric Estrada. You can Google him.
Okay.
Yeah. And he was just a passionate, very storytelling of a narrator. Some of the celebrities get up there and I think they get a little bit shocked by what they're doing and they just read the story and they get off the stage. But like he really got into it. And so our narrator, 20-something years later, this past Christmas was Andy Garcia.
Okay.
And he was phenomenal.
Was he?
Oh my gosh. He was singing along.
Oh, no way.
Oh, he was. He wiped some tears. And then at the end, he had everybody singing, "We Wish You a Merry Christmas." He asked the whole audience to sing it. Ugh. So it was just like a feeling of unity and community and that Disney magic that I think I miss.
Yeah.
I think we all miss a little bit. It feels a little bit normal, but there's still always something missing. But I have to say, for that 45 minutes, I am a crier in life, and I cried the whole show. It was so moving. It was so moving. So that was probably the highlight of the whole time. And being with my family, my parents live up in Massachusetts and my sister and her family's in Delaware. So it was just really Randy and I and our friends and like our family here is what it was because we still weren't with my family just yet. But hopefully my whole family will be together this year. I'm looking forward to that. Yes. But we did that and then we had a beautiful brunch at the Grand Floridian Cafe on New Year's Day.
Nice.
Yeah, and that was great. And that's where I got my fancy new cup that I was just showing Marissa. And I was trying to get her one too, but they only had one left. I would have got two. But it's a Mary Poppins one with a little cute umbrella. And I just loved it. So we went and saw the tree and the gingerbread house at the Grand. Yeah. And it's as spectacular as ever. And they updated the gingerbread house.
I saw it.
Did you see it with the iridescent? Mm-hmm. It's just spectacular.
Adds that sparkle.
It adds that sparkle. Yeah, so it was a great season. I can't believe it's over.
I know.
It was quick, right?
Yeah. Well, and I'm one of those like, I don't know, Halloween night or like November 1st we start decorating.
Same, absolutely.
And so it didn't work in like my favor this year because all of my lights went out by the time like December 14th rolled around. So I was like at the store trying to find Christmas lights on December like 20th to make sure I made it for Christmas.
Right.
But yeah, it was like by the time we had to take the tree down, I was so sad because I was like, it didn't feel long enough, even though I had 60 days plus to enjoy it.
That's why you decorate early though, right?
That's why I do it early because I just need to enjoy it a little bit more. But we love this season. And one of our traditions, and it doesn't go back to the 90s, it's about 10 years old. But one of our family traditions, my husband and I, since we worked on Disney Cruise Line for so many years, we always took a big family picture in front of some sort of Disney tree every year. So since we've been married, we've always had that picture. And then, of course, once we had our son, we continued that tradition. We weren't on the ships anymore, so we would go to the parks and do that. And so on Christmas Eve, we always try to eat at one of the resorts on the monorail. And then we ride the monorail around and stop and look at all the Christmas trees. So we have done that since my son was born. So the last 4 years, we've continued that tradition with him. And so we actually did Grand Floridian Cafe as well.
Oh, I didn't think I knew that.
Funny enough, they actually actually, we love the lobster burger.
Yeah.
And they took it away for a long time, and they just brought it back. So we were like,
good.
okay, I guess we're going back there. So
Good.
we did that. We saw the gingerbread house and the beautiful trees. And there's something about just doing kind of that last little Disney, like squeeze it in, whether it's at Christmas time or New Year's, where you're like, I just need that little bit of pixie dust before the holidays are done. So that was super fun tradition that we do. And I'll put some pictures up here of kind of all the different years that we've gone and the trees we've seen.
It's so special, isn't it? I think Disney, like you said, you know, whether you're marking Christmas or New Year's, like we marked it kind of for Christmas and New Year's. And it was nice to spend New Year's Day. I don't think I had ever been to, you know, to a resort on New Year's Day. And it was just really nice to kind of, what a very low-key New Year's Eve. I mean, low-key.
Have you done a resort on New Year's Eve before?
Never to stay over. I've done the parks on New Year's Eve, Epcot, and actually I did Bay Lake Tower. Actually, no, it wasn't Bay Lake Tower. It was the Contemporary. In a balcony.
Oh, nice.
A good friend of ours had a room that faced the theme park, and so we did go for the fireworks that year. But we didn't stay over. Not to be too specific, but so yes, we've done that before. But no, never have gotten a room or anything. But wouldn't it be so fun?
We did. Probably 5 years ago, the Grand Floridian on New Year's Eve.
Oh, fantastic.
And we didn't actually go into the parks at all. But because they do the countdown 2 different times, and it was a while ago, so I don't remember. But the countdown in the resort lobby was so magical. They had like balloons and confetti fly from the ceiling, and then the orchestra and the band, and everybody broke out dancing. Like, it was so cool.
That's so special.
It's definitely a bucket list if you haven't done one of the resorts on New Year's Eve. It's pretty special.
That is, that's like speaking my language
I know.
too. Like a balloon drop with confetti on New Year's Eve. Like, I love to get. You do too. Like we both love to get fancy and dressed up and go out for something special and everything. And I kind of missed that. The last 2 years have been. It's been nice to have a low key, you know, time. But whenever I say to someone like, "It was a low key holiday," they're like, "Those are the best." I'm like, "Not always." I'm kind of
I gotta put my fancy dress on.
I want to put my fancy dress on. Exactly. I do. I love to do that. And I think this year getting a little fancier for New Year's Day felt special. And I love to have those little special moments. And then you've got that Disney touch as well. And the Grand Floridian on New Year's Day just felt so festive. It felt light. Everybody seemed to be in a really great mood. There was a bride. Like there was just a really beautiful vibe there. And brunch was great. The food was delicious. Like I started my New Year's with a Mickey waffle. It doesn't get better than that, right? A Mickey waffle and a glass of champagne. I mean, that's the way to bring in 2022 after a tough couple of years. So it was really, really a nice holiday. But I think this year coming up, I am looking forward to doing something. We should do something at New Year's Eve. We should pop champagne at a resort, Marissa. Yeah, we need to do that, definitely.
Yes.
Yeah. So it was great. It was really great. Good. And I'm glad you had a good time. Santa came to your house?
Santa came, yes. My son had lots of fun, lots of Santa.
So cute.
Santa dropped some snow on his way in, so
Florida
it's very
snow's the
magical.
best.
Florida snow.
Cleans up, then it's sunny.
Vacuum it right on up, and 80 degrees later.
Yes, exactly. That's awesome.
Yeah. So World of DVC, there's lots of news going around in the world of DVC.
There really is.
It's kind of another reason between that and the holidays. We've been so crazy, but lots of exciting things to share. But tell us some of the latest with DVC Rental Store.
Yeah, so DVC Rental Store, what a banner year DVC Rental Store has had in 2021. The team, whether they are the reservation specialist, the member relations team, they've had some change a little bit within their leadership team, and they are just like a well-oiled machine. These people like love Disney as much as all of us do. And they've had a great year. And now coming into the year, what I thought, before I sat down, I thought, we always talk about kind of the last minute reservations and hop online now. And I want to get people thinking about this year and vacations because Festival of the Arts is back. Yeah. The Voices of Liberty are coming back to the American Adventure. So things are starting to get back to normal. And I know there's a lot of noise out there right now, but I feel like people still want to travel. Yeah. And so get on the calendar early for DVC Rental Store because Festival of the Arts, Festival of the Flower and Garden Festival, Food and Wine will be here before we know it, right?
I mean,
and
holiday bookings.
Holiday bookings, exactly. Like it's not so scary. It's Boo to You now. The Boo to You Bash. Those rooms sold out so fast. But the great thing too is that the 50th celebration, Disney doesn't just do 1 day, 1 week, 1 month of a celebration. It has to be 15 months
right.
of a celebration, or 18 months.
18 months,
yeah. 18 months of a celebration. And so if you haven't experienced any of the 50th, first of all, go back and watch our show.
Yes.
Because we did a really fun World of DVC show where Marissa and I ventured out to the Magic Kingdom for the day, and we had the best time. And we did an interview with Debbie Dane Brown, but we got to be part of, just the castle and just the vibe, the history, that momentous moment of the 50th anniversary of the Walt Disney World Resort. So if you're looking to say, gosh, we missed the 50th, or we missed out on Boo Bash last year, now's the time really to start getting that, on the calendar. And then on the flip side of that, if your members going, I don't know, we have some points, we've got 25 points here or 200 points there, this might be a great time really to kind of do the math and see if it might work out for you to rent out some of your points, pay some of the dues,
get some extra cash,
get some extra cash in your pocket, pay off the credit card, put it towards a different vacation this year. So consider DVC Rental Store for all of that. DVCRentalStore.com. We'll put the website up as well, and they're a great team to just kind of help you solve what it is you're looking to do. What's your end goal? We'll help you get there.
Yeah, and I think a lot of our listeners and our subscribers are new for this episode.
They are. Mm-hmm.
So welcome if we haven't had the chance to meet you.
Yes, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, with that whole World of DVC umbrella, of course, we've got DVC Rental Store. We have DVC Resale Market. So if you are looking to buy a DVC contract, check out DVCResaleMarket.com. Now, of course, we've actually had, when those dues bills come out, we tend to get a lot of sellers who go, am I using this as much as I thought? And so we have a plethora of inventory. In fact, probably in the last 2 years, this is the most inventory we've had on the site. So if you've been a buyer kind of waiting in the sidelines going, I'm kind of looking for that good time where there's more opportunity in the market, this is the time right now. Of course, if you are a seller, the market is still fantastic. And like you said, that spirit of vacationing is still there. So that's kind of that beautiful thing is I think we all hold that hope of regardless of what happens, we still want to be together and have that family time. And Disney offers that. So of course, if you are looking to sell, it's a great time. We have so many buyers looking for specific contracts. So again, DVCResaleMarket.com, but one of the new kind of additions under our umbrella of World of DVC is Magic Vacation Title Company. So for those of you who have bought or sold with us at DVC Resale Market, you probably already know the name quite well. And it just made sense for us to have a title company under our umbrella so that we could really speed up that process. And for a lot of people, when it comes to resale, that process is definitely longer than buying direct, right? It's about that 60 to 90 day window. But if we can speed that up on the parts that we're in charge of, we're going to speed that up. And so what's so great about having a title company now is that just really adds to the fluidity of when you buy and when you close, we're going to make sure that it's one team handling everything. They know the ins and outs. We can push the process as quick as possible. And of course, if you haven't seen our episode with our CEO, Nick Cotton, that was our previous episode. Tune into that. But his wife, LaToya Cotton, is now the president of Magic Vacation Title. So just kind of a great full circle moment of starting 2022 of just saying, hey, if you need something, even if it's redeeding, or you've got a contract where you want to add somebody to it or take somebody off, our team over there, magicvacationtitlecompany.com, that's a great company to reach out to for that. And of course, you get that World of DVC umbrella.
Exactly. And what I love is the partnerships. So I'm building a house. And I'm getting close to the end date of close. And never... of course I understand the value of saying, here's my partner over here and you can go over here to do this. I definitely understand that, that's so important. But I don't know, for me, at this moment, when my lender reached out to me and said, you can choose your own home insurance, or I have a home insurance guy for you. You can choose to set up your utilities by yourself, or I have the utility people that they can connect for you. And I was like, you do? So they have their own concierge type system within the mortgage company that I'm using that has made this a dream. I don't know how many people can say buying a house feels like it's a dream, but it's been so easy because they've connected me with their trusted partners every step of the way. And as I look at MVT, magical vacation, title, and then, even resale, rental, Monera Financial. We all come together and go, we all have the greater interest, of the good of the guest or the member at heart, because we all work together simultaneously. So that's one of the great things about, I love, like, if I can brag a minute about our team, like, I just love that I don't have to say to a guest, okay, well, give this woman Marissa a call. I think she's good. Like, no, I know Marissa. Right. And we're friends and I love her. So it's like a trusted source. Yeah. Yeah. I just love it. It makes it easy, and it makes it easier for the guest and members as well.
I think as like 2022 rolls around, you're going to see more of that. If you're a client, whether you're a client with renting points or buying points, you're going to see more of kind of that synergy as we grow throughout this next year. So that's super exciting. Another thing that's super exciting, last episode we had our biggest giveaway ever in the history of the World of DVC show.
So fun. I wish we could have entered, but
oh my goodness,
Nick told us we could not.
We weren't allowed.
I know.
We might peek in for the day.
Somehow we'll have to visit. But it was a great giveaway.
It was awesome. Yeah. So Ron and his lovely wife were our winners, and we'll put a picture up here of them. And so cool. It actually happens to be Ron's birthday the weekend they're going.
Yes.
So they changed.
Stars aligned.
They emailed us because they were already going to be at Disney World. They changed their whole reservation so that they could utilize their points to stay more nights in the bungalow while they're there. So they're going to have a really cool vacation.
I know. I think about at the end of the year, like, I like to make my gratitude list, and then I like to make a goal list.
Yes.
And we didn't call Ron, Derek.
Derek did, and that call was magical.
It's magical. I literally had goosebumps and tears again because it was so magical. But I thought, I wonder if somewhere on somebody's like goal list for Ron, if someone put the bungalow was like their dream, that'll never happen, and then it happened times 2 more, because they were able to get that stay.
Yeah, they were able to utilize their extra points and take advantage.
Cool.
So super, super cool. And like we said, we hope to do many more of these fun giveaways throughout the year, and really, again, kind of get to know our audience better. We got to know a lot of like people send in different things in the emails and the inbox, and even if you didn't win, thank you for those messages, because we love just even the feedback and the comments. They are super special, and we read every single one. But one of the ways to win prizes with us here is just participation, right? So whether you are subscribing to our YouTube channel or subscribing to us wherever you get your podcasts, whether that's Spotify or Apple Podcasts, if you are giving us a review, 5-star review when it comes to your podcast format, or if you're giving us a thumbs up here on YouTube or leaving us a comment, any of that, we want to make sure that you can win prizes. So that's typically how you win prizes. Right. And then all you need to do is email us at info@worldofdvc.com. And we actually have a really special prize to give away this show. And it's not just one winner. Everyone is going to get this prize. Again, all you have to do is just participate.
Right.
Thumbs up, comment, like, subscribe. Email us at info@worldofdvc.com. And we actually just came out with these awesome World of DVC t-shirts. They're super soft. If you've gotten any of our t-shirts throughout our prize giveaways, they're the same super soft material. So just let us know your mailing address and your size, and we will be sure to ship one out to you. And we can't wait to see you showing them off.
The bungalow giveaways are awesome, but I do love when we can give something to everybody. It's like not everybody can get a bungalow, but everybody can get a t-shirt.
Derek was really sad. He was like, poor Derek. He was like so excited to like pick the winner for the bungalow, but then he calls us and he goes, what do we do about all the other people that entered? I feel like I need to give them something. You can thank Derek for the t-shirt giveaway.
It is so super comfortable. I actually wore my World of DVC t-shirt yesterday because when you're buying or building a house, you're at Lowe's a lot doing stuff. And so I was there.
You need a breathable, comfy t-shirt.
Something that's breathable and cute. And so it is super, super comfy. But so that's all you have to do, right? info@worldofdvc.com.
Well, with everything going on in this crazy world right now, we actually had some of the team from DVC Rental Store out here for the month of December. And so while they were here, we wanted to make sure that we could do some really fun interviews with them here in studio. So as you might have guessed, our special guest is not actually in studio today. It is pre-filmed from just a few weeks ago, but we are doing a show all about kids at Disney. And Derek is on the show, myself is on the show with him, and of course Lindsay from DVC Rental Store. And we have kids at all different ages. So it's a fun episode just to kind of hear about just the different strategies of parents at Disney.
Right. And Lindsay's so fun too because, and she'll talk more about this, but so Lindsay was really like, she was one of the opening day team members with DVC Rental Store, and she'll share a bit more of her story and her history. But the passion that she has for Disney, for the guests, for what we do here at World of DVC, I mean, it is in her blood, and she is just she's fun, she's fabulous, she's a great leader. She's also that mom that used to make, or she probably still does, the Excel spreadsheets, the color coded.
She's got a binder.
She's got a binder. She comes with a binder, an Excel sheet, like highlighters, and she'll explain all of that to you in the show. It's a really fun show.
All right, well, we are super thrilled to have Lindsay on for this episode. Of course, we are talking about families at Disney. Whether you have toddlers or tweens or teenagers or grown kids, we are covering all of that. And what a more perfect guest than Lindsay, who not only is our manager over at DVCRentalStore.com, but she's also a mom of 2 beautiful girls and, of course, has an incredible Disney history. So, Lindsay, thank you for joining us today.
Yay, I'm here.
And Lindsay is all the way out from Indiana. For those
That's
of you
right.
who don't know, our big World of DVC umbrella, we are located both here in Orlando and in Indiana. And Indiana does kind of encompass many of our DVC Rental Store team.
Yes.
So, Lindsay,
Because it makes sense, because we're in Orlando
And Indiana.
Indiana.
Yeah, it makes complete sense.
was that, were you mocking me?
No, but most people don't expect us to be in Indiana.
I thought I said something wrong. I was like, what did I say wrong here?
No,
Not
that's
at
why I
all.
like it.
Yeah, I love it.
That's why I like
In
it.
fact, a lot of people, when they realize that we are in Indianapolis, Indiana, they're like, wait, you are? Yes. Yeah, we are.
See?
They have no clue. Yeah, they just all assume that we are in the Orlando area. And
Hoosiers can do it all. Just want to make that clear.
Says Derek from Indiana.
yes,
I'm from Indiana, so I'm kind
fellow
of
Hoosiers
biased.
sitting up here with me today.
Welcome. We're so glad you're here.
Thanks. It's an awesome experience to be here. I'm super excited to sit here with you, be a part of the show. Watched all of them, and here we are.
Huh,
Dream
see?
reality.
We had
dream reality.
Lindsay fly out for this episode, which is
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
But what we would love to kind of just showcase is like your history, right? How you started to fall in love with Disney to working at DVC Rental Store. And we were going through all of the different employees with the company and kind of their start times because we became this big merger just over about 1.5 years ago. And so we've all kind of jumped into the world of DVC at different points. And Lindsay, I saw the year you started and I was like, I think she might be the first employee
I was
of
for DVC Rental Store.
Yes,
I'm pretty
right?
sure
Yeah.
DVC Resale Market was not even in existence.
In existence, no.
When I started with the DVC Rental Store, and definitely Monera was not either. So yeah, so I think I am the first employee with the DVC Rental Store, and that translates.
No kidding. The first one?
First on payroll.
Wow.
So I guess that makes it official, right?
First on payroll,
First
right.
on payroll. So yes, it was 9 years in November of 2021. So I've been around the block a few rounds, and here we are.
9 years ago. Could you imagine? Like 9 years ago, you're working at the rental store, and then you cut to 9 years later, and now there's this
Massive.
whole entire
That's right.
incredibly popular show.
Yeah. Something.
long-standing
Right.
traditions.
She's like, boy, 9 years from now, I hope I can be on a show.
Yeah.
But no, it's so
it's been
awesome.
An amazing experience.
I know, to
for
see how
sure.
much it's grown is
It's
crazy.
Yeah, it's very humbling,
Yeah.
exciting, and exhilarating. All of the above. Any
Yeah.
emotion that you can think of. It's pretty great. There were many times where I was like thinking, how is this working? Like I'm not sleeping. Like it's just me, and that we were so busy right out of the gate. And then all of a sudden it just one more. Here we are.
The little snowball that
It
turned
was a
into.
snowball, for sure.
So how did you get started?
I was just going to say,
Yeah.
how
So
did
I've
that
always
happen?
been kind of a Disney lover of all things Disney. One of my earliest memories is in 1981, sitting in front of Magic Kingdom with my mom, in a nice little Polaroid, with the 10-year anniversary of the parks. And,
Oh, wow.
to grow, and then over time it just grew. One of my favorite memories as a teen was at MGM with my sisters and my parents, and so yeah, it just grew. Always have loved the movies. We vacationed here multiple times, and then I went to college. I am born and raised from Indiana, just south of Indianapolis. I went to Butler University. Go Dogs! Hoosier at heart, but a Bulldog for life. And then. Started in the civil and environmental engineering world after I left college, marketing, and realized after about 11 years and after meeting my husband at the place that I was at that that's probably not where my heart was the most invested. And I also had kids in that time as well. And in that time, I also had taken our oldest daughter on her first trip. And while I'd always been like a Disney lover, our first trip with her was just like, it exploded this love that I did not realize that I had. Yeah. It ignited this craze and it's kind of lived in me ever since. It was there, but it just kind of reignited and came up. So when we came back to from that first trip with Grace, I knew then that I needed to do something either with or for the mouse on a regular basis.
Figure it out some way.
Yeah, I put it on
You're like, I love you, civil engineering, but...
water, not exactly my cup of tea. This will definitely a little more up my alley. But yeah, I put it on my heart then, and about a year and a half later, the DVC Rental Store kind of just fell in my lap. So.
How did it fall in your lap? People say that all the time. Like,
was the company kind of up and going, or were you part of the initial grassroots of starting it?
So yeah, the DVC Rental Store started with one individual in Wilson, North Carolina, and in the summer of 2012, it came to Indianapolis. That's kind of where it joined forces with some folks in Indianapolis.
How cool.
Those folks knew my in-laws, and
really?
Here I sat. Yeah, here I sat.
I was just going to say,
shortened version of it.
Do you find an ad in the paper that says
no.
Disney? How did that happen?
I know. So very long story short, we had a family get together for a birthday, and on the way to the house of the birthday party, I need a change in my life. I just I need something. And my husband looked at me and he said, what exactly would you do? And I said, if I had my choice, it would be something with Disney. I don't know what it is, but something with Disney. And so I talked to my sister-in-law that same day. She went to church the following morning and met those that were involved with the company at that point in time.
How cool.
And then mentioned your name and said...
She literally called me as she was leaving church and said, are you sitting down? I'm thinking something's wrong with my mother-in-law or my father-in-law or my sister-in-law or something at that point. And I was like, yes, what's wrong? Why are you calling me and not your brother? And she was like, you'll never believe the conversation I just had. I just gave your name and number to... Yeah. And I was like, here we are.
See?
Yeah. It's all, connections for sure.
Yes.
Yeah, so here we are 9 years later.
That's so crazy. I love it because I love stories like this just because I'm from Indiana.
Yeah.
And so when I got the opportunity, when I found out that Disney, many, many years ago, 20 plus years ago, that I found out that Disney had a marketing office in Chicago. And I was like, are you kidding me? I could work for Disney being in Munster, Indiana, and go to downtown Chicago and still work for Walt Disney World.
Right.
It was the mind-blowingest thing of all time. And then I got that job, and then Disney Vacation Club was Disney Vacation Club is going to open up a place right outside Chicago. So I know that feeling of being able to, without having to move to Florida. Of course, now I'm here now, and I love you, Indiana, but I don't want to go back. It's January. I'm fine right here. But knowing that you could provide magic and do all that is just incredible from the Midwest. So I totally get it.
And
that's
for
awesome.
Indiana, Florida was always kind of a vacation destination for a lot of Indiana folks. It's a fairly decent drive or a quick air flight. You can fly down for in 2 hours you're here, or you can drive in about 14 if you are quick. So it's always been a vacation destination. The area, I've had a lot of family, north, south, Florida. So I've always kind of known the area. But here we are.
I know.
Yeah, it's great.
Crazy?
I know.
Now we're here in a studio under the World of DVC when you just found out about this job at church, and now all of a sudden
here we
are.
I know.
Crazy.
I know. It's a great thing.
Crazy.
It's a great thing.
Well, this episode we are covering Disney with kids, right? And so the three of us kind of teamed together because we said, okay, we've got kids at all different ages. Mine is 4. Yours are how old now? I can't even keep track of your boys.
17 and 13, I think. 17 and 13.
Almost like adult level.
I know.
Yeah. It freaks me out.
And then Lindsay, what are the ages of your girls?
13 and 15.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we figured we kind of cover all spectrums of kids at Disney, right?
Yeah.
Whether we're talking toddlers or tweens or teenagers, almost adult
Yes.
kids.
And none of them are here. None of them are here.
But we wanted to kind of cover what things we love to do at Disney at these current stages.
Right.
But because, like, for me, obviously, like, having my son, we've always lived here in Orlando. So we do Disney very differently than a lot of families do, like, vacation planning. And I know, like, Derek, for a while, you guys did live in Indiana and made that trip over. But Lindsay, you guys as a family are still doing that.
Yes.
That big traditional Disney vacation, which so many of our listeners do, right? Whether they're renting from DVC Rental Store or they're DVC members, that classic kind of 1 week out of the year where you go to Disney.
Yep.
So I've heard rumors that you are like expert planner. And I will give kind of a soft plug here. We are creating our program called the Dream Vacation Planner. So it's just fitting to throw that out. We will have a future episode where we cover that a little bit more. But I do know the rental store team is just full of experts when it comes to that.
Yeah.
But I've heard that you have an Excel spreadsheet of exactly how you plan your day. So tell us a little bit about those vacations with your family.
She's got the color coordinated, like, bathroom breaks built in.
Guilty
and all
as
that.
charged.
I know you.
Yes. So, and it's funny because over the 9 years that I've been here, how much has changed with Disney over that 9 years. When I first started at the DVC Rental Store, my Disney experience was not even part of our daily conversation talking Disney. And now we are here not only talking my Disney experience, but also Genie Plus just was recently launched. So definitely the growth and such. And so I don't, with the My Disney experience, I don't find that I do as many spreadsheets, but I do a lot of note-taking, thought jotting down on notebooks.
She's got a
that
book
kind
here.
Of thing. Yeah, I usually keep a handy little somewhat notebook next to me anytime that we have an upcoming trip on the calendar, just to kind of start jotting notes, or if I read something or see something, or if I'm talking with my team at the DVC Rental Store, what are their guests talking about, and jars of memory. So just always have this here to kind of talk things. But yes, in my earlier days with my kids when they were little especially, I would definitely plan it out day by day, really hour by hour at some points, depending on what was going on, what we were there to accomplish, and where we were in life.
Well, I think you almost have to, like, knowing, I mean, again, my kids are old, but knowing that way back when we used to, get on a plane and pack up everything and come down, it's like you got like 5, 6, 7 days, and it's like, I'm going to maximize the heck out of this time, right? Because I'm going to go to the studios on this day. I'm going to go to the Magic Kingdom on this day. I'm going to go to this day. And you don't want to be, oh, God, we forgot to do this or forgot to do that. So you do have to, like, plan stuff. And it's always like people would make fun of people like us because, but we're the reason that we love Disney is because we would have an amazing time because we took time to plan.
That's right.
It's the friends, and we all have those friends that say those following words. You're going back to Disney?
Yes.
Seriously? Oh, we went. It was so crowded, because they're walking into the Magic Kingdom at like noon and being like, oh, the lines are too long. This is crazy. I just want to go back. But we are walking out of the Magic Kingdom.
Exactly, and enjoying some time at the pool or naps or whatever the case was.
Yes, and so Marissa's in that age right now with her little one, where even though she's local, she still has to maximize every time because, toddlers.
Right. And we can only stay for so long and do so many things. Although I will say right now it's very freeing to do a Disney trip, a Disney park, because we don't have bottles or diapers. So the minute you can leave those behind, it's a whole new way to do Disney.
It is.
And then the stroller is the next step. When you do Disney with a stroller,
when we can walk in with just the no bag line, I'm looking forward to that. We're not there yet. We still have the stroller and the backpack. But I mean, I remember when he was newborn and just trying to find even like the little nursing stations of like, where can we go and rock him or do a nap or get air conditioning or get some like quick snacks and diaper change and all of that. But right now we're not worried about that, which is really awesome and freeing. But I'm laughing at you guys kind of explaining families because I'm not like the most Disney expert or planner. However, my family thinks I am. So don't tell them. But when we come to Disney, they just expect it all to be. By the end, they're like exhausted and worn out. And they're like, what did you take us through? And I'm like, I made sure you did everything. But they do, like anytime they are doing a Disney trip, it's suddenly like, what do we do on this day? How do we get there?
Right.
And working for Disney for so many years, and I'm sure you've experienced this, you used to have that path where you got people in.
Yep.
And so now my family shows up to Orlando and they're like, how are we getting into the parks? Like, well, you buy a ticket. And it's just like, ding,
Normal.
ding, ding.
As they're having coffee, like, so are we going on that Frozen ride now? Okay. No. You don't just
great.
walk on the Frozen ride.
Right.
Like, no. Yeah, and that's what's crazy about, like, even being a parent, and again, shameless plug for the DVC Resale Market, is being a member is what makes it so much nicer, too, is that being a Disney Vacation Club member, I remember those trips before I was a member coming down, and again, having that need to feel like I've got to cram every single thing in because I don't know when I'm coming back. Maybe I want to come back next year, maybe I'm not.
Yeah.
So I'd cram everything in and the kids are exhausted and tired, and you go back to your regular hotel room and the kids are right next to you in a regular bed, and buying DVC and having my kids then grow up with DVC, it's just such a life changer because you know you're coming back. You know, that's probably, any member will tell you, that's probably one of the best things about it is that you know you're coming back. So you know you've probably already got that next trip on the books, and you know you're coming back. Maybe it's a different resort, so maybe this trip is going to be more Magic Kingdom focused because you're staying at the Polynesian, and then next fall you're going to come back and stay at the Boardwalk, so it's going to be more Epcot focused. And that's what's great about buying. But again, that's what's great about the world of DVC is that, you know, for folks that are out there saying, you know, I love the thought of a Disney Vacation Club membership, but you know, maybe I haven't quite experienced what it's like to stay in a Disney Vacation Club villa, but I don't want to fork out $20,000, $30,000, $40,000. So is there a way that I could possibly try it? And that's what's great about your team. It's so awesome. You know,
yes, the DVC Rental Store allows you to try before you buy. I know we've said it multiple times on the show. It's very true. Yeah. And little secret, I am not a DVC member. I know, gasps. I come multiple times a year and they're like, what? But I'm not.
I know a really good agent you could buy one from.
Yeah, rumor has it. But it's funny because I think back to kind of our first trip with both of my girls, and we actually stayed off property. And I was like, I know, gasp again. But we did. And it was kind of like my sister has actually a timeshare at a different location in Orlando, and she was able to gift us some nights to try it, and you know, it was nice. It was really nice. But my goodness, when you are like driving, even if it's 5 minutes from the park to your resort that's nowhere on property, man, that 5 minutes feels like 5 hours.
Every resort outside of Disney World says they're minutes away from the magic.
Well, here's the thing. One thing
you probably are, but with the traffic, you're
59
not.
minutes
One
away.
thing you learn in Orlando is that, like, and I've taught my family this when they come too. If you go on like your maps, if you're on Apple Maps or Google Maps, if it says miles, that's not minutes. that's like multiplied by 3 because our left-hand turn lanes are 5 minutes apiece.
Literally,
so if you hit 3 of those within a mile, 15 minutes later, you're at your hotel.
It's like driving through the mountains. It's mountain miles. Those are Disney miles. It's so true.
Yeah. But it was funny because when we were here and we were driving around and seeing all the different resorts on property, that first trip with the girls, we immediately saw Animal Kingdom, and knowing that was our first DVC resort, but we stayed direct, not through points. And so it was our first experience. And Josh and I both looked at each other, my husband, and we were like, we will never stay off a property again. Just with the extras that you get, with the busing and how easy it is, you don't have to worry about it. And just some of the perks, now they're extra magic, or the early entry hours, I think is how they're saying them now, for the first half hour or so, or at the latter part of the day. It's great. So, we stay on property now, obviously.
Well, you just don't have to leave that bubble.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, I still to this day, even though I live 15, 20 minutes away, every time we have a tradition, every time we pass under those gates that say, you know, Walt Disney World, is we always say, blow out your troubles. So even though my kids are, 17 in front, they're like, what?
That's
like,
so
blow out
great.
your troubles. We're entering the bubble. So we always go, we always blow out the troubles.
So
no
good.
matter if we're going for one night or just for the day, because you're in that bubble.
you are.
And just
Truly.
like you said, once you stay on property, it's such a
Life-changing.
It's such a life-changing thing.
Well, and
For
I
sure.
think too, it's so funny because I think back to like our time selling direct for Disney, and one of the things we would meet with guests about and talk to them about the DVC rooms and whether they were staying at a value resort or off property. The most common line we would hear is, "Well, the rooms don't matter because I'm never in the room." But you're never in the room because who would want to stay here, right?
Yeah.
And I think when you look at the DVC rooms, it totally elevates the way you can take those Disney vacations.
Yeah.
And
For
like you
sure.
said, Derek, whether you're a member coming back every year or whether you're saying, you know what, I do want to try what that feel, but I don't know if I'm ready to commit yet, and using the rental side of things, but being able to, like you said with your planning, go back and take a nap. And whether your kids are in that separate room where you as parents can go, you know what, we'll enjoy the living room and the kitchen, or being able to wash your clothes before you go back home. Sounds crazy, but those little luxuries, I know for like my family, my husband loves to cook, and we like to go out at Disney when we're there, but we also like for Christmas time, we like to bring like tons of food, cook a really big meal. I like to bring all of our Christmas cookie stuff and just go crazy in that room that I don't have to clean the next day. But it's just
when is my invite coming?
Right.
I've invited you so many times. It's never available. But I
sounds
think
amazing.
that's the beauty of when you start to do Disney with kids and then you start to upgrade to those style of rooms, it's a totally different experience where you're doing Disney, but you can kind of calm it down and have that home away from home while you're doing that stay.
It is the most important, like that line that you said, it just made me laugh because we hear it all the time. We still hear it, and I'm sure you hear it too.
Yeah.
Is that I don't care where I stay.
Yep.
I'm never in the room. And like Marissa said, because you don't want to go back to your room. You've been in the parks all day long.
Yeah.
The last thing you want to do is go back to your room with two beds right next to each other, one bathroom, right? So you got to watch TV. If you're going to eat, you got to eat in the bed. The kids fall asleep. You've got to whisper because the kids are asleep. Once you stay in a Disney Vacation Club room, and once you stay, let alone in a one bedroom, forget about it.
Good luck.
You know, it's the best door you'll ever buy in your whole entire life because you put the kids to bed in the other room, you shut that door, go relax in your living room, and like you said, Marissa, cooks like 7-course meals when she's on vacation.
Not me, my husband.
But even just having, because people say, I don't need a kitchen on vacation. I don't need that. That's a
I don't
waste.
go to vacation to cook or clean
You
or
don't
do
have
laundry.
to cook.
Just
but
cereal.
Even,
Just
cereal.
Yes.
Even a place to bring leftovers back.
For
right?
sure.
With all the great Disney dining restaurants and stuff, you have leftovers. Get a to-go box. Put it back in the fridge and then heat it up in the microwave.
And a lot of times we tell a lot of folks, and we deal this now with my kids and being older, is just, we take advantage of what we have in the room to help us throughout the day. So maybe breakfast is usually our big meal. And if we're going to do a character experience, maybe we'll do Tusker House or Chef Mickey's or something like that as our big meal of the day. But then we'll pack snacks that we have in the room to take into the park the rest of the day. And it's just, use what you have. And that's what we've learned. And I think when you have older kids compared to younger kids, what you look for in a room is a little bit different. Now with the older kids, they want their privacy.
Yes.
So we look at the Polynesian because it has the 2 bath and a half, but 2 showers.
Yep.
So the girls can have one section, mom and dad can have one section, and there's, some privacy along with it. So yeah, it's definitely, I think, depending on the age of the kids and that stage of your life.
Yeah, it's crazy.
What you look for.
Because I remember buying, we didn't have kids. So we bought it and we're like, yeah, you know what? Studios are fine. Studios are great. It's just the two of us. We're fine. Then all of a sudden you have kids. Yeah. And then you got little ones. And then all of a sudden you discover the 1 bedroom. Yeah. And you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
Did we buy enough points?
Right.
I don't know if we bought enough points.
Right.
But then that's what makes membership great is that there is no perfect package, right? Because people ask us all the time and be like, what's the right number of points for me or my family or what's it? Everybody's different, so it's never perfect. That's why you can bank and that's why you can borrow. But whether you're renting, whether you're buying, once you stay in that Disney Vacation Club, and even if you're renting, you're able to stay in those deluxe Disney resorts because, again, your vacations are better. I know some of the value resorts are fantastic. Some of the moderate resorts are great. I used to love like Port Orleans and all that. Yeah. When I bought my Disney Vacation Club membership, Port Orleans was like $110 a night, like 20 some years ago. Now it's up to what, like $300 plus a night, like plus tax.
Yeah.
So when you rent points, right, with our partner, you're able to stay in these deluxe Disney resorts, and your vacations are better. They're just better because you can leave in the middle of the day with the toddler and take a nap when they're in that meltdown phase, or your sulking teenager can go back to the room on their phone.
For sure.
Best of both worlds. So I think we kind of talked about this, but with just having kind of the broad spectrum of kids at different ages, I wanted to go around and maybe selfishly figure out as my child gets older, but what are your current, and we'll each go around and do this just based on like the stage your kids are in. So just remind us again, what are the ages of your kids? What's your current favorite resort to stay at with your kids right now? What's your favorite place to dine? What's your favorite, like, I guess, theme park or ride? Just kind of like what are you drawn to right now in this stage? And then your top.
You have a whole laundry list.
Look out! I mean, these can be quick, but I kind of want to give the audience, like, as if they have kids who are maybe like 10 and 11, to like, now my kids are 15, so what to look out for, and what's like a pro Disney tip that you can give other parents out there.
Got it. Yeah. You want me to start?
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, well, thanks. Our favorite resort is the Polynesian. It does not offer the one-bedroom option on the DVC side, but we do find that with the pull-down or the pull-out couch, plus they have the Murphy bed, plus the other queen-size bed, and then the 2 bathrooms, kind of. It's like a bath and a half, 2 showers, 2 vanities. It's really great for our girls. Now, we have 2 girls, so I think if it were girl-boy in our situation, that might be different slightly. I don't know. One of our, the reservation specialist with the DVC Rental Store has boy-girl, and she's kind of graduated to the 1 bedrooms just because it gives them a little more room and a little more separation with the older kids. But for us specifically...
You're like, I'm not sleeping with my brother.
Right. Yeah, no, not having that. But for the girls, it's okay. So that Polly is our go-to for sure. We love being on the monorail, and it's funny. We started at Animal Kingdom, and we kind of worked our way towards center of property. And now that we've been on the monorail,
the farthest
times,
away, and now you're like
right there in the magic, right? So for us, we love being there. And once we went on the monorail, it was like I'm not sure if we'll ever go off of the monorail again. So it's just the convenience of it is fantastic. We are a Magic Kingdom family. We can go in there from the start to the end, and it's funny because earlier when they were younger, what they wanted to do, I have 2 very opposite children. Like, they couldn't be more opposite ends of the spectrum if we tried. But my oldest is a people mover person. She would sit on the people mover day in and day out, and would be quite content. Whereas my youngest is like, she needs to do Big Thunder and she needs to do space, and that's just, she's the thrill ride girl. So we try to tailor our day to kind of fit to both of them. But one thing that, as they're older now, that we really enjoy doing is really going in for the morning, getting some of those favorites in, and then going back to the resort. And everybody at this point, just because of the girls being a little older, they enjoy staying at the pool and enjoying what is there at the resort. Everybody pays a lot of money, if you're not a DVC member, to stay at a resort, especially if you're trying before you're buying. And so,
and it's one of the coolest pools ever.
For sure. And
because you're literally
in the pool is even great.
You're walking around that pool deck, and you look up. There's Cinderella Castle
right there.
Right there.
Yes.
There's no place like it. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. So we love it, and so we'll go back and just relax, enjoy the resort. Maybe take in some lunch there, and then go back for the evening and enjoy the evening so we can see the fireworks and all like that. Oddly enough, our favorite restaurant right now is Sci-Fi at Hollywood Studios, and we love it for lunch or dinner. We've done both. So if we do a light breakfast in the morning from the room, cereal, Nutri-Grain bars, whatever, and then we go and have a bigger lunch at Sci-Fi, then we can go and enjoy the rest of our day too. So those would be our tops.
How fun.
Yeah.
That's so perfect. See, I'm almost the same way. Like, I love the Poly. I had my mind made up, and I was like, I want that. And now she started talking about the Poly.
I know.
And I just booked the Poly, by the way, last night, just for a one-night stay coming up. But I think for me, growing up is we bought the Boardwalk 20-some years ago, back when it was like $70-some a point. We bought the Boardwalk. So we've always kind of grown up taking the kids to the Boardwalk. And I think that's what's great about having DVC is that, again, you're coming back but you have those traditions. And for those people that have been to the boardwalk, you kind of know when you walk into the boardwalk, there's always been this big giant couch that's over to the right-hand side. So we have so many pictures year after year. It's a tradition, no matter how old they are. Since they were a baby and couldn't even sit up with their big giant fat heads and they topple over, to all of a sudden now they're teenagers, as we'd say, go sit on the couch for your annual picture. So we always take that picture there at the boardwalk. And it's funny because like our kids love the Magic Kingdom and all that, but I think it's probably my wife and I's fault is that we've kind of made them Epcot kids, because it was like, we're going to Epcot. You know what? They have beer at Epcot. Yeah. They have wine at Epcot. Yep. They've got great food at Epcot. There's always a festival going on at Epcot. Yeah. So our kids have kind of grown up at Epcot. So whether they like it or not, they're kind of Epcot kids. So we love the boardwalk just because you're able to walk there, and just that walk, going from just even thinking about it now, just walking past, ESPN Zone, and then you go up, and then you go down, and you enter right between the, UK and France, and you go right there and get a Bass beer at the UK, and then there's always the big decision: where do we start? Do we go start on the France side, or do we start over there and walk towards Canada? But yeah, for me, it's always just been Epcot, and the boardwalk, and just being able to have that location is just the best, where whether you could just sit there and say, you know what, I don't really feel like going to a park today, but there's something about Epcot that it doesn't make you feel like you're going to a park. Right. It just makes you feel like, let's just walk around for a little bit.
Go get a snack.
Let's just go get a snack over there in Epcot. Yeah. And so when our kids were little, it was always Magic Kingdom, but I think now it's mainly like Epcot, so I love it. And I know you are Hollywood Studios probably.
No, it's funny kind of listening to both of you, because I think when we first started the parks, especially when my son was a baby, we spent a lot of time at Magic Kingdom because it's just, there's all the little rides and the pictures and the characters.
There's a state law that you have to literally spend all your time.
These are the rules.
Maybe in the Small World boat. I think that's like you have to have a picture of the child in the boat going through Small World. Yes.
And I think right now, the character meet and greets were really just kind of something that was what we went to the parks for. And so with 2020 rolling around and that kind of getting shifted, we actually ended up spending a lot more time at Epcot. And my son is now 40 inches, so that opens up like a whole new world of rides. Yes. And so we went on Soaring, and he just, it's so cool to be at this age because he can really kind of communicate the things he loves. And so we're like flying through and he's like, Mommy, look. And you're just like, oh my goodness, how cool. You forget that as an adult. And when you go back and see that through their eyes. So we've actually, Epcot is kind of our choice right now of parks to go to.
Is he big enough to go on Test Track now or no?
He is, yeah. So we do that too.
Awesome.
So
has he gone on there?
He loves it.
Oh my God.
He hated Big Thunder but loved Test Track. Go figure. So we have been doing that. And I will say, this is kind of surprised me of where we've been spending our time a lot at resort-wise is actually Riviera. And so it's a beautiful resort. It's very just kind of pristine and elegant, but we love Topolino's. That's been kind of the family favorite lately. I'll give you a pro tip on that one. We always try to book that 24 hours in advance because usually you can find last minute availability. Yeah. So we've had great success with that. Now everyone's going to do it. Yeah. Shoot.
Out of the bag.
But we love the Skyliner. So a lot of times we'll go and do Topolino's, we'll go and watch the fireworks, and my son will be like, do we get to ride a ride now? And we'll say, yeah, we're going to ride on Mickey's Skytrain. And we do the Skyliner, and that'll be check our ride for the night. So even Skyliner, and then of course not DVC, but Art of Animation has all the cars, and as you know, Cars Land. So we'll do a stop. We do we'll make a evening out of the Skyliner. Right. So we'll do a full stop. We stop in Art of Animation. We spend time with the cars. Say goodbye. We come back, do fireworks, and then head home or stay the night at Riviera. So that's kind of been a family favorite as of late.
Oh, awesome. Yeah. How fun. Now we want to go to the parks.
I know, right? Let's get out of here and go.
Let's get out of here. See you later, everybody.
Well, Lindsay, as we wrap up, and I'm sure you've seen on the show, we do have a long-standing tradition of a little game called This
or That.
Gotta be this or that.
Here we go.
All right.
Now, you know the rules, right?
Yes,
I always have
know
to tell
rules.
every guest for the last 37 years, I tell every guest, I say, listen, can't expound on it. You just have to answer the question as much as you want to, because I know your passion for Disney and your love of all things Disney. You want to explain why I chose this one. You can't. You just got to answer this or that.
Okay.
So the experiment
Okay.
will be
So
done by
I'll
me.
do the first 7.
Go ahead.
All right, and then
Okay.
I'll hand it off to you, Derek.
Okay.
Are you ready?
As I'll ever be.
Okay, here we go. Lindsay, would
Yes,
you
ma'am.
rather do a day at Animal Kingdom or a day at Magic Kingdom?
No.
Magic for sure.
You
Yes.
even got to explain that one. All right. Would you like to do Flight of Passage or Soarin'?
Soarin'.
Okay. Food and Wine Festival or Festival of the Arts?
Food and wine.
Classic attractions or newer attractions?
Classic for sure.
New Year's Eve or 4th of July?
Ooh. We're like too many people.
New Year's Eve would probably be it. I know. Yeah.
Bay Lake Tower Studio with Magic Kingdom view or Polynesian Studio with parking lot view?
Polly.
Ah. All right. And Beach Club Villas or Boardwalk Villas?
Beach Club.
Okay.
All right. Ready? We have a dream trip off property.
Okay.
Ready? Would you pick Hilton Head or Vero Beach?
Hilton Head.
Okay. Would you buy snacks or pack your own snacks?
I can't give any explanation.
No. So you got to bring your snacks
Gosh.
or buy a Disney snack for $37.
I know. Gosh. But those Mickey pretzels are so good. Buy, but my husband says pack. So yeah.
So I think your answer was buy pack?
Buy pack. Buy pack. There we go.
Okay. Gotcha. All right. Ready?
Yes.
All 3 meals in a Disney park, or would you take a break from the park and go back to your room and eat a couple?
Yeah, take a break for sure.
Okay. Dining plan or no dining plan?
No dining plan.
Right on.
Yes.
Shop for souvenirs at the beginning of your trip, or do you save it to the end of your trip to buy everything? That's a good question.
All of the above.
I'm going to buy
Failing here.
Yeah, I know. Sorry. End. Okay, so we'll say end. Okay. Yeah.
Genie Plus or no Genie Plus?
Well, I actually just experienced Genie Plus for the first time recently, and gosh, depending on the park, no Genie Plus.
I think she's still stuck on the snack question.
Yeah, sorry, I'm failing miserably.
I still do I bring snacks or not? All right, finally, do I plan every day or do I just let the day take you where it wants?
Preferred to take the day, let the day take me where I want.
Perfect.
All right, so that was our Disney with Kids edition of the World of DVC show. Lindsay, we were so glad that you're able to come on and join us for this episode all the way from Indiana. But we love to ask.
She's still torn about the snack question.
Yeah,
Stop.
still thinking.
We love
about
to ask anytime we have guests your favorite Disney experience or moment or
gosh.
memory.
I mean, it's hard to choose just one, right?
I know, right?
Especially as a parent, they're all pretty great. I will say the first time that both girls came, but they were a little bit older, where it was kind of like you were mentioning with your son, they have opinions and can kind of talk about things. But we did Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party, and the girls did Bibbidi Bobbidi to get ready as princesses for their Halloween costumes. Oddly enough, being the Disney person that I am, my youngest daughter was terrified of characters. No longer, but as long as if she could not see their faces,
Right.
then it was the scariest thing she's ever experienced in her life. So we did Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party that trip, and my youngest is literally standing behind the trash can, like screaming because it was the parade. And originally those parades, pre-COVID,
Right.
the characters would come up to like guests that are sitting along Main Street, if that's where you were, and they would interact with you, and it was very, very magical. Meanwhile, my oldest, who is all about the characters, was sitting there in her little Cinderella outfit, and Peter Pan came right up to her and said, "You are my favorite." And I immediately was like, "Is this the best night of my life?" And tears were just streaming down my face. But she was like Oh my gosh, that was Peter Pan. Just as a 6-year-old, I think she was about 6 or 7 at the time. Yeah. So
and the other one was behind a trash can?
Literally the other one was kind of like scared out of her gourd, because here comes Clarabelle Cow, or the chick. It's just like a lot. It was a lot for her. But so to have both experiences at the same time.
Awesome.
But yeah, when Peter Pan, he literally looked like right here, like curb to kid, and it was awesome.
I said, "You're my favorite."
You're my favorite. And I was like, I'm not crying, but I'm weeping.
You are.
I'm like crying.
Her eyes are honestly glassy.
Yeah. It's
How
the
cool
best.
is that?
I know.
Oh, that's so
Thanks.
awesome. That's what makes Disney great.
It's pretty awesome.
We have the best jobs in the world.
Literally, yes.
We really do.
Did you hear that?
I did hear that.
Oh, Lindsay, you get to join us for
Story Time with Sue. Take it away, Sue.
Welcome to Storytime with Sue. I often get asked about my work as a DVC guide and what I liked about it or didn't like about it. And I'd like to share with you some of the things I really enjoyed. And that was meeting all the different guests, trying to help them look at DVC and see if it fit into their family and their lifestyle. And if it did, which resort that they'd be interested in. And it was great to know that you were making memories for all these people, future memories. Well, I'd like to share this story about one Christmas. When it came to Christmas, I loved Christmas. And so I would dress in Christmas sweaters. And the one favorite sweater I had was a red sweater with a white fur collar on it. Everyone at work called me Mrs. Santa Claus, and I really kind of liked that. But this one day I was working on Christmas Eve, and I had the last tour of the day. Now, Christmas Eve was my husband's birthday, and I was kind of wanting to get home so that we could celebrate his birthday. But I had a guest in front of me. I walked down to the living room, and there I meet this woman and her 3 children. The children went into the play center, and I sat down with this woman who was kind of looking a little forlorn. And as I'm doing my discovery questions, trying to find out about vacations and how they vacation, how many people, what time of year, I learned from her that her husband had done 3 terms of service and came back successfully each time. The last time he came back, he was back in his job as a policeman, and he answered a domestic violence call, and unfortunately got shot in the head and was killed. And that was about 3 months prior to this. The last time they had a vacation was at Disney, and that was their happiest place. So as Christmas approached, she had no idea what to do with the kids. She had no idea how to celebrate Christmas. To her, the last place that they were happy as a family was at Disney. So she put the kids in the car, drove down from Tennessee, and came down to Disney. She parked the car, went over to Disney Springs, and was just walking around with the kids, and she saw the DVC kiosk. And she and her husband had talked about possibly buying into DVC. So she stopped by, they arranged a tour, and here she was. In speaking with her, I found out they didn't even have a room. Here they were, Christmas Eve, no husband, no dad, a depressing Christmas for all of them at this point in time, and no hotel room. And you do know how busy we are at Disney on Christmas Eve. After making a few calls, we were able to get them a hotel room, and I called my husband. He went out and picked up some gifts for them, and the front desk managed to get some holiday foods, and they even found a strand of lights. And we went up and we decorated their room and made it as festive as possible. What they needed right now was they needed the pixie dust and the magic of Disney to bring back some of those happy memories with their dad. They needed to know that they were safe, they had memories, and that the pixie dust and the magic of Disney could bring some smiles to them. And it did. Well, needless to say, it wasn't time for her to buy. We knew that from the start, but I gave her as much as I could to get them through that first night and a couple of nights thereafter. Do you know that almost a year later, she walked into the center, asked for me by name, came up to me, gave me a hug, and said, They had the best Christmas ever, and she never knew how she was going to repeat that. So she decided it's time to buy DVC. And on the next Christmas, they had their reservations at Disney Vacation Club. She sent me a picture of them, her and the kids, reenacting that last Christmas that we had for them. So all in all, we're so happy as guides, whether we're selling resale or we're selling direct. We really want to spread the pixie dust. We really want to make memories for you and your family. And to me, I got so much more from my job than anyone could ever think of. So thank you. That's my story for tonight. Sweet dreams, and see you next time.
Well, great show, guys. This was so much fun. Awesome advice about how to do Disney with kids and where to stay and what to do and what not to do. So are you all exhausted? Yeah. I would think so. Yes. Well, this was such a super fun show, and I hope a lot of great information as well for those who have kids, small kids, teens and tweens. But don't forget, if you want to get a World of DVC t-shirt, they are fabulous, and they're a hot commodity because they're super soft. But just give us a like, a subscribe, a 5-star review, and leave us a comment, and then send us an email at info@worldofdvc.com, and we'll get that right out to you.
I can't wait to see all of you wearing the t-shirts.
Get around Disney, absolutely. And with that, I think we have one thing left to do, right, Derek?
I think there is.
Just one thing left.
That's right. It's that long-standing tradition that we have.
Tradition.
We have to do it. Everybody ready?
Ready.
All the way from Indianapolis?
Yes.
Is here. Ready? It's a Hoosier. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3. We'll see you real soon. Oh, boy.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Please remove your headphones, step back into reality, have a magical day, and we'll see you real soon.